Hi, everyone. Okay, so the lesson right now is about Dhristis in meditation. And I know that I've talked about these in some of the videos that I've done and that you've practiced with your asana, finding a focal point and gazing at it, especially when you're in a balance pose. Also, when you are concentrating with dharana, the inner limb of yoga, various Dhristis can be used. We've talked about some in our meditations. So, what is a Dhristi? So, we've learned in our yoga practice that a Dhristi is a focal point or gaze point that you lock in while you're practicing asana. And we usually talk about this with balance poses, like I said, but there's a Dhristi for every pose that you do, whether it's mountain pose, gazing straight ahead, whether it's downward facing dog. You might find yourself gazing between your knees or between your feet or at your belly button. As you're in triangle pose, perhaps gazing upward at that lifted hand. So every pose has a Dhristi, all right? Um, a Dhristi is equally important in all postures, like I said, but we often fail to mention these Dhristis unless we're practicing a balanced posture. So the Dhristi helps us to stay in the present moment. Um, it helps you to practice meditation during your physical yoga practice. So, just like you have a drishti when you are practicing guided meditation or body scan meditation or candle flame meditation, you're going to be locking into some type of drishti, okay? And your asana practice is a moving meditation of sorts. So you may begin to notice as you practice more and more that as you practice that you're only focusing on what you're doing in that moment. And that's where we're trying to get with asana, okay? So there's no definitive drishti for every posture. Whatever works for you. What you want to do is lock into a gaze point. For instance, for triangle pose, most people will look up at the lifted hand, but it hurts my neck. So I will sometimes gaze at the wall right in front of me or even down at the mat. So as you practice, you'll discover a drishti for your postures that suit you. There's, like I said, not just one. All right. So when we're thinking about the contemplative, the inner limbs of yoga, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, drishti is very important with these limbs of yoga, the contemplative limbs. Um, it's useful in pratyahara because it helps you focus inward and tune out those external distractions that we've talked about. Remember that pratyahara is withdrawal of the senses. So we're trying to bring ourselves inward and close out the distractions around us. In dharana, the drishti helps you focus and concentrate so that you begin to move into the seventh limb, which is meditation. I have dhyana as the sixth limb here, but it's actually the seventh limb. It's a mistake on my part. Um, the drishti serves as a place where you return to when you're in meditation as your mind begins to wander and your thoughts start to control you. So, when you notice that your thoughts are getting the best of you, you can bring your focus back to your drishti, and your drishti might be your breath. It might be a meditation poem, as in a Gada meditation. It could be your feet, as in a walking meditation, candle flame meditation. Different ways to meditate, all right, and different dristis to use depending on the meditation that you're using. All right. So, what are some dristis we can use in the contemplative limbs? All right. So, the breath is the most obvious dristi. So, finding a steady, even breath, engaging that three-part breath can serve as a focal point for you. And that may be enough. In a body scan meditation, focusing on different parts of the body as you practice can serve as a dristi, tensing up and releasing various parts of the body, or just noticing that part at the time. An image in your mind of someone that brings you comfort. It could be a deity, the God of your choosing. It can be a place where you feel comfortable. It can be anything that makes you feel secure as you are practicing that meditation. A candle flame. Now, a candle flame is outside the body, but it's still a great drishti. So sometime this week, I would like for you to find a candle. It can be a LED powered candle, it can be an actual candle. As you light the candle, sit in Sukhasana and just gaze softly at the candle flame, using that as your drishti, noticing, for instance, the different colors that appear, the way the candle flickers, the light, the way that the light may dim in one place and become brighter in another. So try that candle flame meditation this week. A mandala, a yantra, a rhythmic beat that remains steady that you can link with the breath. We'll be looking at more closely at these throughout the remainder of the semester. Is that it? I guess it might be. Okay, so that's it for the presentation on the Dhristis. There are many, many other Dhristis that you can use. Like I mentioned, the Gata meditation poem is a great meditation Dhristi. You can write your own Gata, which is a great project to do. Have a great practice with your candle flame meditation, and I will see you soon.